What's happening? Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, guys, I'm just doing a quick mic check real quick, making sure everything is working. Trying to see if everything is going good. Perfect. All right, we're gonna get officially started in just a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna keep this going for a few minutes. I'm gonna fix my bucket from last week a little bit. I broke because I accidentally dropped it, so I'm just gonna fix it real quick. Where did it? Where else? Need to put another piece in here. Oh, found bright pink tuck tape this time. All right, so if you're waiting for this to start and you want to grab some supplies, we are going to be using some scissors today, tape if you have tape, a hot glue gun I highly suggest for today if you have it, but if not, you can use duct tape like I'm using today to show you. I have examples here already to show you when we officially start, but duct tape. I'm using cardboard for part of mine today. You don't have to have cardboard. You can use any kind of wood that you have laying around. I'm using wooden skewers again. You can use toothpicks instead if you'd like to use toothpicks. Yeah. Today we don't need a whole lot of supplies like we did last week. However, just use whatever you have at home. Again, the beauty of this is because you're doing it at home, you can use whatever you find. But we're gonna get started in about 2-ish minutes. I'm just gonna keep fixing this because I dropped it and it really didn't like being dropped that much. Got most of it back together before starting the video, but just wanted to make sure it's doing okay. Well, how am I gonna put this back in there? Woo-hoo. If any of you guys are new this week, my name is Kirsten. I am a full-time site director here at the YMCA of Greater Londonderry. I am also the program director here at Camp Wagonki that we have over the summer. I'm really excited for summer camp to start in just a couple of weeks. We're getting a lot of stuff ready to go, and I'm super excited. If you have any questions at any point, please leave them down in the comments. I have it up so I can respond to them immediately. Oh, another thing very important, make sure you have some safety glasses available because we will be cutting wood, or at least I will be cutting wood today. If you do not have any wood that you're going to be cutting, you don't really need them because you won't be having wood pieces flying at you or even away from you. All right, we're gonna get started in just like less than a minute. Just want to make sure we have some more people join us before officially start. Plus, the hospital starts at 4:30.
Haley, can I get the name?
Oh, I forgot I still have this on. Put that over there. So used to wearing a walkie all day, I forget to take it off. The amount of times I brought it home, it's okay. I always bring it back. All right, so I'm going to get started. So welcome to day 2 or week 2 of making your very own elevators from stuff that you have at home. So I have an example that I made earlier of what we're actually going to be doing. So last week we made either a platform or some sort of bucket that we're going to use for our elevator. So I used one of the ones that I made as an example last week. And then today we are going to be making some sort of crank handle sort of system to make it a little bit easier for lifting and lowering your platform or bucket. So this one I used, I only used a couple of things. So I only used skewers for this, a hot glue gun, and then cardboard. And then I already had my yarn attached to my platform, or I guess kind of bucket thing right here from last week. So I just kind of wrapped that around earlier today. So this one, this sort of step is going to be a little bit difficult with tape. I'm going to be trying it with tape for the first time with you guys, but I did use this, so I had at least one example shown, and I'll do the same exact steps that I did with the hot glue gun, just with glue instead. Um, Last week we talked a little bit about some simple machines. Today we're actually going to be combining simple machines together to make a compound machine, which is a crank or like a handle like this. So the simple machines that we made, that we are going to be making to make a crank are an axle and wheel, which is actually like the handle, and then the part that the kind of string goes on, the yarn that I have here, that's an axle and wheel, is turning. And then we're also going to be using kind of the pulley sort of system because it's going to be pulling this up. I can kind of show you right now. Oh, just kidding. It's getting all wrapped around, but it lifts it. See, just like that. Really cool. So it lifts and does that. So it's creating the pulley, wrapping around the yarn around kind of this middle skewer that I have here. So that's what we're going to be making. So we're going to make our very first compound machine. All right, so the first thing that I did today, so you can see what I'm doing, is I'm going to take my cardboard that I have here. So I made a small-ish handle. I wasn't sure how big to make it, so here I kind of made a small one. I'm going to be making a bit of a bigger one for this one, just because I have more cardboard, and I also did kind of like a trial and error sort of thing, trying to find like the best sort of size to do. If you want to make a smaller one, absolutely. If you want to make an even bigger one, go right ahead. Again, this is your elevator and you can do what you want to do with it, which is why I love this sort of thing. So I have my cardboard here. I have 4 skewers. I might be using the pointy bits. I have some leftover skewers from earlier today, so I'm probably going to use these first before I use some other ones. If you're going to make your own platform instead of using cardboard, you can use popsicle sticks. You can use what kind of wood you have available. If you already have like a wooden board ready to go, perfect. Works for me. I have, I can't lift up my ruler. I have my ruler ready to go because I am going to be doing some measurements. I have 2 pencils just in case. I have some good sturdy scissors so I can make marks to break the skewers, because you found last week that you can't just like cut through skewers. You kind of have to like make a mark around it and then you gotta break it. I have duct tape. I have bright pink duct tape this time. I didn't have any more silver. And then I have my safety eyewear just in case any of these wooden parts from the skewers fly anywhere. Perfect. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my platform. Now I'm going to decide where I want these to be going. These legs that are going to hold the actual crank to the platform. So I'm going to figure out how much spacing. So when I did this one, I did about 2 inches in between, and it worked really, really well for this. So I think I'm going to do another 2 inches because I want to keep it pretty close together. I don't want it too close to the edge. So I'm just going to mark where the 2 inches are. So about here and here. And then, like I did for this one, I'm going to leave a little bit of an overhang, just like a little bit of the platform for the handle part. So I'm going to do probably, I don't remember what this, I think this ended up also being 2 inches, and I found that was really, really tight. So I'm going to do 3 inches this time. Make a mark right here, about 3 inches this time in between the legs, because this was just a little too close, and depending on how long your yarn is, it's going to spread out on this. And this one, I didn't realize how long my yarn was, and it's really hard to kind of turn it. So this is going to be much better handle and crank. So I got another 2 inches from this dot that I made here. Perfect. Okay, that's where my legs are gonna go. Now, if you're using skewers like I am, I found earlier that it was easiest to use the really pointy end first to just kind of make a hole in here. And each of these holes that we just made on my cardboard, if you're using an actual wooden board, you will not be able to stab your skewer into the wood. So instead, you can just make those marks and you can kind of skip this step. And then when it is time to actually put my cut pieces in, I'm going to use the flat edge to make the hole a little bit bigger and stick it in my cardboard. And again, if you're using cardboard, you can do this. You don't have to do it. I just found that it made it a little bit easier for when I was hot gluing, so it could kind of stay into place before I actually got the glue on there. So because I already have some already shortened skewers that I used earlier today, I'm just going to recycle those so I don't throw them away. It's going to be environmentally friendly. I'm going to measure this. So on this one, each of these legs is about 3 inches. I'm going to do more than 3 inches because again, it's a little short. And I was planning on making this one a little bit taller too. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do 4 inches this time. Oh my goodness, I cannot pick up a pencil today. So I'm going to do 4 inches. So I'm just marking all the way around my skewer. Perfect. And then I'm going to take the other half, and from that line that I just made, I'm going to measure another 4 inches. Oh, almost brought me to the edge. I just have about like an inch left. And again, I'm just going to keep going around the skewer so I have this little mark that I'm going to cut across. Okay. I am putting on my safety sunglasses. Again, they're not a correct protective eyewear, but I don't have any available, so I'm using what I have to protect my eyes with what I got. So first, I'm going to take this. I'm going to do the short end first. So I found last week when I was making one of my examples that you can't really cut through skewers like you can with toothpicks. So I'm just taking my scissors and I'm just rolling the skewer between the two blades. This creates a little divot, a little mark, so it's easy to break like this. Ooh, just broke really easily. And I just put this piece down, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this mark. And this is going to make 2 legs. Let's flip it a little bit. And then again, I'm going to break it. Oh, perfect. There we go. So if you're using wooden skewers like I am, I'm going to just kind of like trim some of these hairs off a little bit, just because it just feels better in my mind. You don't have to do it. I just don't like it because I don't want to get any sort of splinters in my fingers or my hand. Well, I'm going to peel that off because that was already kind of splintering. I do not like getting any sort of splinters. The downside of using wood. So I have 2 legs made, and now I just need to make 2 more. So again, using one of the pieces that I used earlier today, recycling, reusing items that I have. I love being environmentally friendly. Going around 4 inches again. I'm gonna measure another 4 inches from that line I just made. Perfect. And again, same thing, gonna take my scissors, putting it in between the 2 plates, just making that mark a little bit, just cutting it a little bit to make it easier to break. And then over here, same thing. Boom. And I'm gonna break it. Oh, I always find the shorter sides to be a little bit harder. So if you have a really small side, you need a little bit more effort to do it. That one used a lot of effort. Trim those. Okay. And if you have any short pieces like this, don't throw them away yet because we are probably going to be using them to kind of create like the top so the Korean stuff doesn't fall out of the legs that are holding it up. So save those. It might not be long enough, but that's okay. We're going to save them. Again, I like recycling. Perfect. All right, I'm going to set my glasses down right here. So what I'm doing next, scissors away, I'm taking my platform right here, and I'm going to my legs in at an angle. So I'm not exactly sure what my angle is going to be because I need to make sure I have an X at the top for the like axle part to rest on. Do the same thing over here. That looks pretty good. So I want a big enough gap. I want a big space here up at the top. This way, so when we close it, I have plenty of room for moving. I found when I was doing this one, I had to redo it several times because I did not make the space big enough for when I put a cover or like a top to kind of hold it in place. I didn't make it big enough and it made it really difficult to turn the crank and to like insert it and take it out for when I was doing the yarn, wrapping the yarn around it. So I'm gonna leave it like this for right now. And now I'm gonna go to the other side. Same thing, sticking one in, if it will go in. Apparently not going in right now. Doesn't really like me. That's okay. That happens. I'm just kind of sticking these as much as I can in just to kind of give it a little extra support and to keep it up. This one is not going to be staying very well. Okay. So again, nice big gap. It doesn't have to be completely even. It will look nicer if it is even. So take another skewer if you have one available. Well, that didn't work. I guess I need to tape it down first. So I'm going to tape that down real quick. That's why I love STEM so much, because you can make mistakes so many times, and that's the beauty about science and engineering and math and technology and all of the STEM. It's just you can make mistakes because you can learn from them and you can make things better the second, third, or fourth time, however many times you want to build this. All right. Oh, I'm gonna get my duct tape ready to go. I'm gonna do some small strips first. Put them on my side right here, and I'm going to actually make them a little bit smaller. I'm gonna kind of tape them in like so. Now I know this isn't going to be the sturdiest, so if you have a hot glue gun, use the hot glue gun, hot glue some right into the holes that you made. I have my hot glue gun on just in case it's not working so well with the tape. But just have it ready. The tape, you're probably going to use a lot of tape. I'm probably going to use so much of this pink duct tape. I wish we had like a pattern duct tape, but pink is fine too. All right, so I'm just putting 3 pieces on one side because I realized I accidentally made a little bit of mistake making one of the sides. That's okay. You guys can fall down for right now. That's okay. I'm worrying about this guy. So I'm just putting in a bunch on each side, making sure that I have some going up the leg and then some of it on the actual cardboard or platform area itself. Ah, cool. So I'm going to do the other side of this leg, the other leg. I'm going to put about there. Oh, I need to rip my tape. I'm going to need more tape in just a minute. I'm going to do this back one first. Oh, this duct tape piece is not very good. Put you over there. Make it a little trash now. Oh, so much duct tape usage. Okay. I'm going to do smaller pieces, I think, this time. Because even though the long pieces were good, I just noticed I was having a harder time kind of like wrapping it around. Sweet. All right. Sweet deal. All right. Again, wrapping it around 4 different sides, just making sure there's plenty of tape on it to hold it in place as much as possible. Cool. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm not going to tape the X part yet because I'm going to wait so I can, because with the duct tape, you can adjust it a little bit. If you're using hot glue gun, it's a little bit harder to adjust because you kind of have to make sure your placement is exactly where you want it when you're hot gluing. Cool. Yeah, that hole's not very good, but I'm going to do this one first. Anyways. So I'm wrapping the outside part of the leg first just because I noticed that's giving a little bit more support and pushing it in the direction that I want it to be going. Oh, there we go. Let's go like so. Then I do this side over here. Okay. And then I'm going to do one last piece, just kind of over here. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to write them in the comments. I will try my best to answer those questions. Yeah. I'm sure you guys have noticed I'm wearing a Cats in Space shirt. It is virtual Spirit Week here at the YMCA of Greater Londonderry, and today was Wacky Wednesday. So I have a whole wacky outfit. I took out my hair this morning because it kind of hurt, so I took out my hair. Okay, there. But I had a whole thing going. If I stand up at any point, you will see my tutu that I'm wearing. Oh, how did the tape do that? That was weird. Okay. I'm gonna go in here now. I'm finding that with the bigger pieces, it's a little bit sturdier than some of these smaller pieces that I made over here. So I'm going to keep using some of the bigger pieces. Gives a more surface area too. Perfect. Okay, now that these have taped on, now I'm going to make sure that it's fairly even. I have to lift this one up just a little bit, adjust it, and I'm going to tape this one first. Now, this looks like, from my view, this is going to be plenty of room, because when I put a cover on it, it leaves plenty of wiggle room to like put the yarn on and moving it in and out. So now I'm going to do, I have to put this on again to make sure that's nice and even. Yeah, about there. I'm just taking one piece of tape and just wrapping it around. Keep it in that place. I have another piece right here. I'm gonna go in. Perfect. Okay. So I know it may look really sturdy right now, but I'm going to go in with another piece of tape for each one of those just to make sure that it actually stays in place, because I don't want it wiggling or moving around too much, because this is where everything's going to be resting on, the actual crank itself. Okay. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Oh no, I have duct tape all over me. You kind of see me in my natural habitat, me trying to figure out duct tape and it not working. Okay, now it's time for scissors. I'm usually really good at ripping duct tape, but apparently not today. All right, I'm just gonna go in, second piece, just to make sure it's all nice and tight. I'm tightening it a little bit, so I'm making sure this is nice and secure and tight. Please rip properly this time. Oh, it did, but it folded over a little bit. Let's see if I can fix that. Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm gonna go in again, make sure it's nice and tight. Oh, perfect. All right, I'm gonna make sure that's even again. It's fairly even. It's a little off, but that is okay. It's fairly even. All right, now comes the next part. So now we're actually going to be making the axle and the handles that we're going to have on the crank. So back over here. So because I did 4 inches, or sorry, about 3 inches in between here, I'm going to do a little bit longer. So when I made this one, I made this 1 inch longer. I'm actually going to make mine again 1 inch longer as well, because I don't want it hanging out too much, but it's hanging out a good amount here. So this is 3 inches. That means I'm going to make another 4-inch mark on this guy. I get sharpened one. There it is. Duct tape. Just going around again. Same thing that we did with the legs, just going around, marking that 4-inch mark. Again, you can do whatever distance you want. Again, the fun part about this is it's a trial and error sort of thing. I know what worked on this one, and I'm fixing the things that didn't go well on this one. So I'm actually making 2 elevators right now. But you guys can make as many as you want, whether it's 1, you make 2. Who knows if you make more than that? Oh, almost forgot my protective eyewear. Got my protective eyewear back on, and I'm just gonna break it because I just want to make sure nothing goes towards my eyes at all, because that makes me super nervous. I don't want to get hurt. And I don't want any of you guys to get hurt either. All right, is this one my 4-inch piece? I forget which one it was. Okay, it is this one. So I'm looking at it. Apparently 4 inches was a little too short, because I know I did 3 inches. Oh, I see what's happening. So I didn't measure. I measured bottom here, but if you're looking at my cardboard pieces, they're kind of spreading out a little bit. So I'm actually going to use the opposite side. See how that length is. That's a much better length. And it is about 5 inches. Good to know. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, and I honestly love making mistakes because that means I can improve on something. Okay, I'm actually just gonna not use that piece of tape. So it's at a good spot right here. So now we're going to make the actual like handle part. So I'm going to make these 2 pieces. I'm going to put these 2 pieces together first, and then I'm going to attach these 2 pieces onto here. Before I do that, I'm going to take the 4-inch one that I made, and I'm going to kind of, I can take these off now. Come over here. I'm going to take these off. So it's 4 inches. So when I made this one, I just made this handle part a little bit longer so I had some more room. I made this a little bit long so it feels better when I'm turning it instead of turning it like here, because you'd have to kind of turn like this. With a handle on it, it's much easier to turn because you can move your whole hand, your whole arm even, instead of just using your fingers to turn like so. So that's why I made this handle. It's more comfortable, it feels better. So with my 4 inches, back to my skewer, I'm gonna move, oops, I forgot you weren't attached yet. Move this guy out of the way. I think I'm going to make the actual handle part itself 2 inches. So this bottom long part on this guy, so this longer part is going to be 2 inches on this one. And then if you're like me, who has the other 2 inches on the other side, you can keep it 2 inches. I think I'm going to keep mine 2 inches because it should be it's a pretty good height on here. I'll show you on this side. You can say, I'm just kind of see like how high it is from the bottom here. So I think I'm going to keep it the 2 inches. So again, I'm going to put my protective glasses on, my protective eyewear, make kind of the divot right here in between on the line, and then break it. And then again, I just like shaving off these little splinters, like little hairs, just because I think it looks pretty. Also makes it a little bit easier, and you don't want to get splinters. Perfect. All right, move you out of the way. I can take you off now. So this is where I was really, really glad that I had a hot glue gun because it was pretty easy to hot glue these 2 pieces together. But I didn't try the tape version yet. So we're going to try this together if you're also using duct tape like I am, or any kind of tape that you have. Okay. Instead of ripping it this time, I'm going to cut it. So I'm making some longer strips of duct tape, like so. Then I'm going to attach it. I'm just going to make an L. So I know we have about 5 or so minutes left. So what we're going to do after all of this, hopefully we'll have enough time, is I'm going to put these 2 little pieces left that I have over on top of it. If we completely run out of time, I might just save it for next week, actually, now that I'm thinking. Because next week we're just going to build everything together and finish whatever we need to. And I will obviously be here to help you guys with any of those sort of questions that you may have and everything that you have. I haven't decided which is the best way I'm going to do this yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip it in half. It's a little hard because they're a little short. Because I'm going to kind of place this on top, kind of in the middle, flip it over, adjust what I need to do, and then flip this part over just to kind of seal this in. Like so. And I'm gonna kind of go around this way with some tape. This is the hard part of this. So I just want to make a nice little corner right here. Now, it feels pretty weak, so you can see it wiggling a lot. So I'm going to add a couple more pieces of tape just to make sure it's nice and secure. So now I'm going to try to wrap it around this corner piece. And again, I'm kind of glad that I'm using pink, because pink I think looks a little bit better than the gray. That's just me. I like pink a lot. It's one of my favorite colors. All right, that's a little bit better. I'm going to just add a little bit more tape to it just to make sure it's sturdy. I'm going to kind of extend this out a little bit to make sure the tape is staying pretty good on there, pretty well on there. Oh no, I did it again. Oh, Kirsten, when are you ever going to learn? Just put those tapes right here. I can clean that up after. All right, perfect. The next step is kind of doing the exact same thing, where you're just going to attach the other side to this, like so. This. Just going to attach it like this. So the same deal that you just did, attaching these two pieces together. So I know we only have about 3 minutes left. So we're going to finish making our handle and attaching it to our axle right here. And next week we can continue and finish making the platform. I'm going to do it on Facebook Live with you guys. If you want to do it at home, go right ahead. It's super easy. It's a trial and error thing that I found out earlier today when I was making my hot glued one. Okay, so I did something kind of like, this is too big. This is a little too big to do. Try to make this before my time is up. If not, again, that's okay. Flip it around, bring it, kind of wrapping it around again. Oh, looks so good. Then I'm gonna wrap this guy around. Just to make sure it's nice and secure on there. Still a little wiggly. I'm gonna take some more tape. I'm actually gonna cut this time. Gonna make sure it's nice and secure on here. Like so. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. I gotta say, if you were doing this with a hot glue gun, it went a lot faster when I was doing it earlier today than using the tape. Awesome. Sweet. So I made this. Now what I'm going to be doing next week is we are going to attach this so you can kind of see that it's on here, and we're going to put some covers over here to keep this in place, and then we can turn it. We'll put our yarn on it. If you would like to do that before next week, that's totally fine, but again, I'm going to let you know I will be doing it on Facebook Live next week at 4:30, same time as today, and last week is our last week together, and I am a little sad by it, but I'm also super excited that you guys are making these fantastic show you kind of what mine looks like before I go. So I'm gonna hang. Oh, sorry. So I'm gonna hang mine. I'm holding this down because I don't want it to fall. But I'm going to raise it. You can see it's going a little slowly. And then I'm gonna lower it. Oop, I got a little tangle over here. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happens. Lowering it. But next week we're going to finish everything together and we will have one big structure, kind of like the one I'm using with this shelf. all completed. So thank you everyone who joined. I will see you guys next week, 4:30 to 5 again. Bye guys.